Hey guys, it's day 7, June 4th, 12 p.m. What's for lunch? McDonald's, because I'm original like that. When I was browsing through YouTube the other day, I came across a Taiwanese McDonald's commercial. They were introducing this new burger that had a squid ink, like, jet black patty. So that's kind of the motivation for me, like, looking up, like, McDonald's on Food Panda. It turns out though that for some reason they're not selling it at this particular store, or maybe they just don't allow takeouts for that kind of burger. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I was kind of disappointed, so I just got all the usual stuff. Some like spicy chicken fillet burger, right, which comes with fries, a drink, and 4 pieces of chicken McNuggets. I mean, it's kind of typical, right? McNuggets are served in a paper bag though, so that's kind of weird because the last time I remember, right, ordering this, right, it wasn't like one of those paper boxes like you would see like in a usual McDonald's in the United States. My mom ordered this chicken drumstick. It's called a McCrispy. This salad we made for ourselves because, you know, you need a balanced diet even in quarantine. This is definitely not the first time. This is probably the 3rd time we've eaten a salad that looks exactly like this. It's pretty good though. So just to do a little comparison between, you know, McDonald's in the United States and Taiwan, or should I say, you know, California and Taiwan, I guess, because I don't know what McDonald's are like in other states. You know, just because it's fun. You know, see like a burger, like this chicken burger, right? Like, you wouldn't really notice that big of a difference. The portion size is a little bit smaller though. So for example, this, right, if I put my hand here and compare, right, would probably definitely pass as a small fries in the United States. This is actually medium. So that means that there's a size of fries that is smaller than this. I mean, if you see it, it's like extremely small. It's very sad. Chicken McNuggets are the same size though, which is good, right? And as for the sauces, right, in you know, California, the McDonald's that I usually go to, there are a variety of sauces that you choose from. Here, you know, maybe every once in a while they come up with a special one, but you know, usually you have few, if any, choices at all. You know, for McNuggets, you got the sweet and sour, the original. So basically, each side item comes with its own packet. So, you know, we got 2 fries and 1 McNuggets. So we got 1 sweet and sour and 2 ketchup packets. They don't give you like 5, like they do in the US sometimes. This is a medium-sized drink, which is somewhere between the small and the medium, I think, in the US. So we got 2 combo meals, 1 for each of us. This costs, I guess the equivalent of $11 US in total. That includes the tax and the tip. We don't really give tip in Taiwan. Still a little bit cheaper than, you know, if I bought the equivalent in like McDonald's in California, for example, but, you know, not that much cheaper. So in a really real way, right, you know, buying McDonald's is actually not a really good way to save money on food in Taiwan because there are much better options when it comes to portion size and price. Okay, so it's 1:30 a.m. right now. Yeah, in the morning. Yeah, it's hella late. So we're actually ordering Uber Eats right now, and the reason behind doing that at like 1:30 in the morning is that we usually order dinner through Food Panda, but when we tried to order today, there was some problem with our credit card such that the purchase couldn't go through. I'm guessing that it could be the case that you know, because we ordered too much using an international card, the credit card company has like frozen our account for the time being, you know, in fear that, you know, somebody may be using our card illegally or something like that. So all in all, we couldn't order, you know, dinner through Food Panda like we planned to, and so we had to fix ourselves noodles last minute, and there wasn't any meat. And then, so this was around like maybe 8 o'clock, and then when I ate dinner, I was like, oh yeah, this is fine. I could, you know, wait until tomorrow to eat more. And then like at like 12 o'clock midnight, I was like, no, I can't, I'm hungry. And then it occurred to me, right, like, hey, if Food Panda doesn't work, then Uber Eats probably wouldn't work either because it's the same credit card that we're using. But like, you know, it couldn't hurt to try, right? And so I got on Uber Eats and I found this like Taiwanese breakfast shop that happened to be open in the middle of the night. I don't know why, but I don't know how I missed it before even, because I would have ordered it definitely if I knew about it before. And the order went through, and so now we are waiting as they're preparing our order, and it will arrive somewhere in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Okay, so here it is, guys, right? Day 7/day 8, officially a halfway mark of our quarantine. I suppose this is cause for celebration, and we will do so by eating Chinese breakfast, which is really good, at an ungodly hour. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so it was kind of awkward because I heard like the footsteps and like the rustling outside the door, and I was expecting her to like ring the doorbell to like tell us that like, you know, she put the food at our door, but she never did, and then she left, and I thought she was still there, so like I waited for a really long time before I retrieved this. I guess, you know, maybe she didn't want to disturb us because it was, you know, so early in the morning or something like that. Maybe that's why she didn't ring the doorbell. Anyways, let's see what we got. So my mom got these. In Chinese they're called ball. I have no idea what the English translation is specifically. I guess you could describe them as like a cross between like a pork dumpling, but the texture is somewhat like pot stickers, I suppose. So these are the sauces for it. The darker ones are not spicy. The reddish ones are spicy, obviously. This is what I got. It's Taiwanese rice ball, I guess. The outer layering is egg, which you could order as an extra like add-on. So Taiwanese rice balls usually have like a more elongated shape as opposed to a rounder one. This is a pretty typical example. This store is actually a chain store. It has lots of locations. They sell breakfast typically, and so I was really surprised that they were willing to deliver at like 1:30 in the morning. Okay, so the meal has been devoured, and the only thing that's left over are a couple of these packets because they gave us a lot to begin with. So my mom asked us to save these, you know, for our future cooking, you know, in case we needed some condiments. Hey guys, this is our second grocery order of our time in quarantine. So last time we ordered some fruits, some vegetables, and some juices. So this time it's pretty much the same thing. We got 15 items total, and we added a couple eggs into the mix because we're running out of those as well. And so I just clicked on the order and it went through, you know, so the problem with Foodpanda yesterday, it couldn't go through, did not carry on into today, so which is good. And the estimated delivery time is what, 25 to 35 minutes. They will deliver groceries to you in half an hour. Like, what the heck? Okay, so if you take a look at the fridge, you can see that the drinks have been restocked, guys. The vegetables have been restocked. We now have a ton of fruit. We have expensive pulpy Japanese green apple juice. And I would have recorded, you know, the delivery guy putting the groceries at our door or something like that. But I was playing D&D, so I didn't have the leisure to do that, which is why I'm recording this now. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we had our second D&D session during our quarantine period. Most of my friends were happy to oblige. You know, they have time. Actually, one of the friends that we're playing with is in Taiwan as well. We came back on the same plane, so, you know, he's in quarantine too, and so, you know, I guess it's safe to assume that he also has a lot of time on his hands, aside from what else he's doing. This whole thing, you know, is my brother's the DM, and he promised that it'll be a short campaign. You know, the whole idea is that, you know, it's not that big of a commitment and a time leech, because, you know, we all got our stuff to do. So, you know, he said it was going to be short, and he was like, oh, okay, so now you're like more than halfway through the campaign, right? All we got is like a short fight, right? We got a short session today, right? Afterwards, right, we're gonna have you level up because otherwise you'll die in like the next encounters, and it's just gonna be combat, and then final boss, and then done, right? Okay, so short session today. Short session meaning 3 hours long session, okay? Which is why I did not get to record the groceries. I did not get to record the lunch that we had. I was eating it while I was playing it. I blame my brother for everything. Just kidding, actually not. I did forget that we were gonna play at 11 a.m. and that time was decided beforehand, so my bad, I guess. But yeah, it was a really fun session, I'd say. Mainly because I feel like in the beginning, like the first couple times we played with this group,
you know, a lot of us weren't comfortable acting in character, and they thought it was awkward. So it wasn't all that smooth of games that we had. But now, like, I wouldn't say that like there are strong relationships developing between characters, whatever. But like, at least, right, you can see some like dynamic going on, and you know, as you know, we're more comfortable like acting in character and stuff like that. And even some of the non-player characters, you know, turned out to be pretty interesting. So yeah, we had a good time, even though like we really didn't do good in the combat phase today. But it was interesting. It was fun. So last time I mentioned the previous D&D session we had, we left off at a cliffhanger with us breaking into a castle that is now run by cultists, and we found this girl being held captive in a really nice room in the castle, and she claims that her sister, right, is actually probably the cult leader. So we started off today's session with a deliberation that was pretty brief about what exactly we should be doing with her and what exactly we should be doing in the castle. And mainly the source of tension during our deliberation of what to do revolved around the fact that my character does not trust the girl, whereas everybody else seems really trusting of her for some reason I do not understand. Through the lens of my character, I think I have a pretty good reason not to be trusting a girl. After all, like, we did almost die trying to get into the castle, which is not any exaggeration at all, given the storyline. And we happened to find a girl sitting in a really nice room, claiming she's a captive and that her sister is the cult leader. I do not understand why anybody would trust her, really. And that's just me speaking, right? But particularly for my character, she has this really edgy and depressing backstory that explains why she pretty much does not trust anybody, which is why I'm actually acting in character when I'm not trusting her. But strangely, everybody else in the party was like, oh, she seems really harmless. Let's rescue her. Let's bring her back. Let's not take precautions that she might be a doppelganger and stab you in the back when you're not looking. And let's not consider the fact that she might be a cultist herself. Yeah, I don't get it. But we ended up taking her back anyways. At least that's what we planned to do. So that deliberation probably was like the first half an hour of the 3-hour session. The next half an hour was us running into a blob, particularly talkative blob of like demonic nature, I guess, like in the hallways, and it was telling a story. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This board that I'm showing you right now is pretty much just the combat phase that took up the last 2 hours of our 3-hour session. So what essentially happened was we tried to sneak out through the secret tunnel that you know, we used for coming into the castle in the first place. We were not really good at sneaking though, because the cult leader caught us with a bunch of goons of hers. You know, of course, you know, the enemies, there were witches and there were cultists, but the most annoying of all, right, was this enchanted suit of armor, right, that was extremely tank, okay, and it just proceeded to come in and just clap all of us. Miserable combat phase. Would not say the worst ever, but definitely, you know, up there in like the top 3 worst combat phases that we've been in, you know. In particular, right, my character, who is a bard, right, ran out of spell slots because I cast too many of it, you know, obviously, and I did not keep track because who does that, right? So basically, I was a level 2 bard that's extremely squishy, has no spells, and armed with nothing but a dagger and a rapier, and I just contributed nothing for like 1.5 hours and just ran around. Yeah. Meanwhile, the human paladin character, who's supposed to be tank as crap, right, armor class 18, dropped unconscious. Yeah, she actually did. She dropped unconscious, right? And everybody else, right, had to heal her. Because if she did not get back in the game, why, we'd all be dead, wouldn't we? Just something else that I thought I would, you know, give a passing mention to. If you look at all these tokens, right, you can see one that doesn't seem to have the same style. This is because this particular friend, you know, my brother was DM and he, you know, helped us all craft our characters because we're all beginners, right? And then when he asked this dude, like, hey, what character do you want to be, you know, in this D&D game, right? It's a fantasy setting. And then he said, quote,
I want to be Shoto Todoroki. Okay, and so basically my brother's like, oh well, it's a fantasy, and so, but we could, probably make like a mage or something that, and you could just pick the fire and the ice spells, right? So then for the token, right, we just put Shoto Todoroki because he just wants to be Shoto Todoroki. Last time I said, we had 3 people playing. It was a small group. We actually had another friend join. He's a variant human, and he dual wields 2 longswords. So, appreciate that extra firepower in our party. We're now a party of 4. To kind of complement the plot, that's been developed so far. My brother just made him like show up like halfway to the castle. He just happened to be there, fighting kobolds as we were like traveling along the road. So he joined us, right? I don't know much about his backstory because, strangely enough, none of us have inquired in depth yet, and he doesn't let on. But I'm not gonna say like he has a past. That's all I know about him. He has a past. So we did take a long rest, so that means that we're all officially level 3 characters now. That means I'm gonna have to go pick my subclass. Hopefully that makes me less squishy and more useful in the games to come, which I'm sure there will be, because there is still like 7 more days of quarantine. So just another aspect of my quarantine life that I thought I'd mention. I am looking for internships. It's not something I'm particularly stressed out about at this point. I've not obtained one either. Right, but it's just something that I'm actively doing at this point. So at one point in winter quarter, it was decided that it would be really possible that I move back to Taiwan with my family for spring and summer, because Stanford decided to have its courses online for spring because of COVID-19, right? And also, I opted to have a leave of absence, so I'm not going to be there anyways. At least I don't have to. And so I started actively not just looking for opportunities for internships in the Bay Area. I also started looking for opportunities in Taiwan, specifically Taipei, where my family will be staying. Through my dad's suggestion, right, I compiled for myself a Chinese resume, right, in addition to my English resume that I used before. Looking for internships through, platforms that they use in Taiwan, so for example, like this one. I'm not going to log in. It contains a lot of sensitive information and on my resume as well, but this is one of the websites that I frequently use. It's called 1111. I don't know why they named it that either. It's just what it is. In terms of what I think about internships right now, I think it'd be great to have a summer internship in Taiwan or a job or something like that. Preferably something that, allows me to hone my skills in computer programming and give myself some hands-on experience with that kind of stuff. If I don't obtain an internship, right, I suppose what I would do is default to, my own projects, get my YouTube channel, up and running, right, get some momentum on that thing by creating more content. So if you do happen to see, during summer, like after this quarantine period has ended, on my YouTube channel, there's a lot of activity going on all the time, and an internship is not mentioned, right? Well, guess what? It's probably because I did not get one. So for dinner, what we got was kind of like, I don't know, some sort of like Taiwanese KFC or something. So fried chicken in a bucket, right? And like when we ordered it, right, we ordered a 2-person combo. So I was expecting like, Taiwan, like, portion size to be smaller. So I was like, oh, okay, so we'll just order like a 2-person combo, right? And because the portion size is probably small, right, we're going to add like a little bit like on the side. Like we'll buy something else, right? And then that would be just enough, right? And then we also like, my mom like, cooked these vegetables as well, just in case we didn't have enough to eat. It is huge. We're screwed for this night, bro. This is way too much food. We're not going to be able to finish it. I don't know what to do about it. Hopefully this mistake is not repeated. Hey guys, so that's it for day 7 and day 8. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm averaging like 1 film every 2 days now because I'm lazy. Actually, it's just because like I want to have enough content to put into every film that I make. And so I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow.